Good afternoon, Fab Fam. It's Vinny B with Dead on Board Gaming, and I'm here with another how to play video. And today we're going to go over the phases of a turn and the flow of a turn in Flesh and Blood. And I will not hesitate. Let's keep going here. It's a weird way to say that. So anyway, we have our hero and our weapons. I went over all the cards in a previous video. I'll make sure I put that in the description. And let's back out one notch here. And so you draw four cards again being your intellect. And as you can see, Ira's is 4. So we'll draw 4 cards. All right, what we got here? And again, we went over the cards and how they work, so I'm going to assume you guys already know how that works. If you don't, make sure you check out the other video. So we're going to start by deciding what to play, and we're going to start by doing a Kodachi. So to play it, you put it up top. It's a once per turn action. You pay a resource. You can attack. If you have a card in your pitch zone with cost 0, it gets go again. So you want to make sure to pitch, when you pay for this, to pitch something with a 0 cost. Now we have 2 things. We have a Flick Flack Yellow or a Rising Knee Thrust Blue. You want as much mana as you can get, or resources as you can get. So we're going to do a Rising Knee Blue for 3 resources, and we're going to spend 1 to Kodachi. So now, so as of right now, we're attacking for 1, and now it is up to our opponent to decide if they would like to block your Kodachi. They're going to say no blocks. Now, from the no blocks section, it goes back to us, the attacker, and we get a chance to play a attack reaction. This is the only phase where you can play attack reactions. We decide we're not going to play an attack reaction, and now it goes back to the defender, and they will have an opportunity to play a defense reaction, which they do not have either. So they will decline also, and it will go to damage. Sorry. And it will go to damage because we both pass priority back to back. And that is when every priority chain ends, is when we both pass, always ending with the defensive player. So we hit them. They took 1 damage, and we have go again. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attack with our needle. The needle says once per turn action, attack. It has go again. It also has that if the needle is blocked by a card with defense greater than its attack, destroy the needle. So we're attacking for 2, but because Ira, her static ability is your second attack each turn gets +1 attack. So now it's a 3. This is actually important for the needle because almost all blocks will be for 3 or less unless they are defense reactions. So if you play somebody like Kano the Wizard, they don't run a lot of defense reactions. So adding the needle in is almost like a free extra damage every turn. Well, not free, but they won't be able to break it. If you use it with another ninja, they don't have ways to pump the needle, which would make it susceptible to breaking, and you would lose it for the game. So just to throw that out there. So that also costs 1 mana or resource, which we spent. So now we still have go again, and we have 1 more resource point. Now we can also pitch. So we have 1 floating mana. Now we need to decide what we want to do. And I think the best thing for us to do would be to play Command and Conquer, since it shuts off defense reactions for his attack, and if it hits, it blows up their arsenal. So assuming we're later in the game, this would probably be the better attack. Now we are short of mana, so what we'd have to do is pitch another card because we can't afford this. Well, actually, sorry, let's do it in order. We would announce Command and Conquer, realize we can't pay, and we would throw another card into our pitch zone to add 2 more mana. That would put us at 3, and then we would pay for Command and Conquer, bringing it down to 1, and now we are attacking for 6. Again, back to them to decide what they want to do. So they have a 3 block, a 2 block, a 2 block, and a 2 block. So now they have to make a decision if they want to throw 3 cards away out of their hand or lose their arsenal card by being hit. And then from there, they have to decide how much damage they're willing to take and lose the arsenal. So we're going to assume they want to protect the arsenal, but they don't want to get rid of all 3 cards. Actually, you know what? If I had this hand, I would take 6. Would I take 6? Yes. I would take 6 holding this hand, if in the right position. So we're going to just take it. So we take it, and our arsenal goes to discard. And now this does not have go again. So the turn would end. Everything would go back. This would go to the play zone. These go to the bottom from your pitch zone. So that's another thing, is while you're playing, your pitch zone becomes your end game. So you're also stacking your deck for the attacks that you will be using to finish the game off. We both start very strong. We're both going to use very strong attacks, but at the end of the game, when you get through your deck and you start playing with your pitch, sometimes it's important to go ahead and throw a red in there or something to plan for a later game. Just something to think about. So now we're at the end of our turn, and we have this area called the arsenal. The arsenal is a place to put. You can put 1 extra card to let you draw an extra card and give you 5 cards in your hand instead of the 4. The thing with arsenal is you can't pitch from arsenal and you can't defend from arsenal. You can only play the card. That being said, cards like Flick Flack, which is a defense reaction, can't defend. It can be played as a defense reaction. So this is actually a very good card that would go in arsenal. Now with that there, it's our end of our turn. We arsenaled. Now we're going to draw 4 cards, which is Ira's Intellect, as we talked about before, which is the blue in the bottom left-hand corner. Draws up to 4. So we're going to draw 4 cards. All right, so that's our new hand, and now it's our opponent's turn. Real quick, I forgot to mention, so the go again replaces your action point. Every turn starts with 1 single action point, and anything that says action uses that action point. Go again allows that action point to be put back. Go again does not stack though, so you can't give something go again 3 times and then get 3 go agains. It still only replaces the 1 single action point that you had. So just something I forgot to mention is when we start with our Kodachi, we're spending an action because it's a once per turn action, and because we pitch to 0, it gets go again, and it replaces our action point, which allows us to do the needle, which is another once per turn action that gives us go again, which allows us to play Command and Conquer. So that's just kind of the breakdown of how the go again mechanic works. It was one of the harder things for me to get used to doing, was only having a single thing and then replacing it. I played a lot of turns where I had an infinite amount of actions, and it's a very different game. So anyways, so that's us. And now we're going to go to our opponent's turn. And our opponent actually has a fairly strong hand. So we're going to back up a little. And then, so for their start, we're going to say that they pitch head jab. They have 3 mana. They get to, how would they come in? That costs 1. That costs 0. 1, 1. Okay, so they come in for a Kodachi. We take it. They follow up with a leg kick, which this costs 1. So now they're down to 1 mana because they've spent 2. 1 for Kodachi, 1 for this. This has go again, and it attacks for 4. So they're automatically getting go again. And they're coming in for 4. Now I need to decide if I want to make any kind of blocks. I'm going to decide I don't want to block. Now it's up to them to decide if they want to do an attack reaction. They say, nah, you're good. So it goes back to me for defense reaction or pass. I'm going to decide to defense reaction since we have it, and we have it from Arsenal. This card costs 0, so we're going to go ahead and defend for 3. That's not 4. I thought it was red. Sorry. We're going to defend for 3, so we're only going to take 1 here. And the next card we defend with, if it says combo on it, gets +2 defense. So we take 1 here. They still have go again, and they have one resource left. Their next attack is Arising the Thrust blue. So this says combo. If leg tap was the last attack this combat chain, rising knee thrust gets +2. So now, and go again. So because they played leg tap first, and then the next card they played was rising knee thrust, combo triggers. So now this has go again, and it's a 3 instead of a 1. So now it's my decision again if I want to block. I'm going to decide to not block, go, then they decide they don't have an attack reaction since we know their hand. We're going to decide to flick flack again. Now, let me see here. If the next card you defend with this turn is a combo, okay, it's not. So that goes away, but we get the same trigger, and this is going to block for 2. So we're going to take 1 again. So now we've taken 3. We've done a bunch of defense. And our next block will be +2 if it has combo. Our problem is we don't have that, but that's what we get. So we took another 1. And once again, they had go again. So their last one is going to be Iris Specialization, Whirling Mist Blossom, and it's going to come in for 2, and if it hits us, if it's a second or higher chain link, which it is, it's the 3rd chain link, actually 4th because there was a Kodachi, and it hits us, we draw 2. They would draw 2 cards, and they have go again. So I definitely don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and block for 2. And see what, and then we go through the reactions again. Do they have a attack reaction? No. Do I have a defense reaction? No. We go to damage, and we don't take anything from this. This actually had one extra damage because we're playing a mirror match. So this actually hit me for 2. Yeah, so we don't take that. They don't draw cards, and they end their turn. So all this goes to their play. That's their pitch. This is their played zone. We clean up our defense. It goes into our graveyard, which is up here. And then it's our turn. Now here's the hard part. Now on our turn, we don't draw up at the beginning of our turn. So all the cards we use to defend are now missed opportunities for offense. And this is one of the best mechanics of the game, is how important each card is and the decisions you are making into if you want to have a big attack or a big defensive turn. And you make all these decisions, you know, as it happens. And it's very good. So right now we have a very weak turn. I don't have enough to pay for Surging Strike, which is the better thing. And then this is a Razor Reflex. So we could do 2 different things. We can either pitch these to attack with, actually we can't, because it doesn't even give go again because they both have a cost. They have to be 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to Arsenal. So I'm going to Arsenal Razor Reflex. We're going to draw our 3 cards. And then we're passing turn. Now, this is the tempo part because now we didn't attack. So they drew up at the end of their turn and then we put no pressure on. Now they're starting with a full hand again. Now we have to start making decisions on how to get our tempo back, because from now on they're attacking and we're defending, and we have to make more important decisions about our defense because they're always drawing up and making us start spilling cards out. And we have to decide on a turn where we don't want to give cards up to make them start deciding if they need to block. Yeah, I think that covers pretty much the entire turn cycles, the flow of the game, and everything like that. If you guys have any questions, write a comment right down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll make sure it is. I think I covered just about everything, and I hope this really helps kind of get you going into the game. So again, the last video kind of broke down all the cards and how the cards work, and then right here is basically the turn structures. And going forward, I think I have one more video we're going to do to kind of break down the mechanics a little further, and then we're going to start getting into hero-specific videos and kind of break down the way they play, different ways to build, kind of get into their backstories. I got a real cool idea for when we get into that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.